Testing, 1, 2, 3. I believe I'm live on both platforms. Welcome to another Fearless Singer Daily. I've been going live for the last 8 days and just sharing bits and pieces that I know about voice, about mindset, and about business. And yeah, so I've covered things like primal sound, how we can elicit intrinsic sounds that will help us do things like belt or whine or, create more of a breathier emotional connection. I've also shown you some pretty nifty tricks like the straw exercise and also EFT and how it can change our narrative, our internal narrative around, what we believe to be true about our voice, about our singing. And tonight I'm going to talk about affirmations and how they can be super powerful. Hi Maria, hi Jamie. How affirmations can help us with healing our relationship with our voice, our instrument, and also having a positive knock-on effect with our singing and taking up the stage, and not just an actual literal stage, but also the figurative stage of life. So how we can show up more on this platform, on Instagram, on Facebook, our socials, to share our unique message with the world. So one of the things that stops us from singing, from taking up space, from really owning the stage of our life and also, the actual stage, is the stories that we tell ourselves around visibility. So this belief that, we're not enough, or I've just shared a personal story from tonight that I've realized only just yesterday that one of the reasons why I haven't, and don't get me wrong, I love the stage. Put a bloody microphone in front of me, can talk for hours. You have to literally get one of those hooks to bring me off. But I've been actually experiencing some pretty gnarly dreams about like showing up and not being prepared. And that's because there's been some opportunities where I'm going to be on a bigger stage towards the end of the year, and thinking, well, why is that? Why am I getting scared about this? This is just another gig. And then actually went to a psychic yesterday and realized that, oh my God, it's because when I was in grade 3, I'm not sure if she was well-meaning, a teacher used to weigh me in front of the class, like a class project. And I don't know whether this is a false memory, but in retrospect, I kind of think it was a way of kind of going, well, I was an overweight kid. It was like a kind of a well-meaning sort of, get her on the straight and narrow. But actually, when I look back, I think it was actually, oh, this kid has got tickets on herself. Let's try and bring her down a peg or two. Because, it was the 90s. It was like the Wild West of teaching days. I also, by the way, had some really beautiful teachers. I just want to put that out there. I was like, okay, so this is what's kind of stopping me from really feeling into this idea of the bigger stage, the bigger platforms. And so there's a couple of things that I can do, to clear that, which I have. So I can use EFT, so emotional freedom technique, to talk that out as I'm like tapping through the points. And if you're unfamiliar with EFT, please check out my previous videos. I've got one pinned also to the top of my Instagram. I've got a crap ton on YouTube about EFT, so you can check it out and learn a bit more about it and how we can use it to help our vocal and singing practice. But the other thing too is I can self-coach. I can talk to myself and talk through those feelings and come up with some key affirmations that are going to help me. So it's safe for me to take up space. It's safe for me to be in a bigger body as a woman. Well, actually, technically, getting controversial, technically in this society, it's not safe, but I can teach my nervous system to feel safe around it. It's safe for me to be 100% authentically myself on stage. It's 100%. It's safe for me to be 100% honest about my experiences as a performer. And look, there is that element of, you save 10% for yourself or the rest of it, but you decide what you want to share with people. For me, it's empowering to share some of these kind of, let's face it, gnarly stories, because I feel like we've all had, one or two, God forbid more, experiences where it has impacted us, our adulthood, and stopped us from doing things. So it's important for me to be truthful about some of my experiences, because you might resonate and go, actually, I had a similar story where I was made to feel, dumb in class. I was the dumb kid, and people used to tease me. The teachers would tease me. That's a common story as well. My darling, beautiful mother and my auntie Jenny were pulled out by the ear of their choir and said, get out, you're a couple of drones. Could you imagine being young and having that joy of singing and that joy of music, and that getting the shit kicked out of you by, someone that, I don't know. I can't even, like, for me, it's like, yeah, I understand time, space, hashtag unwoke, but at the same time, I've also known some very kind, generous people over the past years of my life. Do you know what I mean? Like older people. So that's unkind, So, but people have experienced that from either teachers or relatives or, people in society. The other thing too is, God, this feels like a bit of like I'm whinging about my childhood. But I remember being a horse rider. I loved, riding my horse. My dad was really keen for me to be a horse rider. And I remember being overweight as a kid again, and my horse was also overweight. And being the brunt of jokes amongst some snickery adults, It was never, I was never worried about kids ever. Like, never had a problem with being teased by kids. It always seemed to be, for me, my experience was adults. So, of course, you grow up and you go, oh, well, I see, I was on a stage as a kid. I was on this metaphoric stage of life. I seemed to be like, I had attention on me. And I think in retrospect, I go, oh, well, it's because I was, this quirky kid and I was overweight and, but I had also this inner confidence because I came from a family who loved this shit out of me. So, I believed in myself, and my family would tell me how great I was at certain things, so I did have confidence. And I think for some adults that seemed like, why do you have confidence? That kind of, it was the tall poppy syndrome. And luckily, we're sort of coming into an age where people are starting to embrace that shadow self and are doing that work on themselves to not be like that to kids, and so yeah, coming back to affirmations and how they can help us. So one, it's really important to recognize that these stories happened. We can't just keep suppressing them. It's important to give voice to them. And I mentioned EFT before as a way of doing that. However, also journaling and also therapy. Oh my God. Talking to a trusted medical professional, or if you're into different modalities, talking to spiritual healers, energetic healers. Like I said, yesterday I was in the presence and being counseled by a really beautiful psychic. So whatever resonates with you. So give voice to it, because as Jung says, if you are, or said, I should say, he's dead, isn't he? Jung said that if we don't recognize and we don't start giving voice to the truth, it's that's the truth is going to get us in the ass. He didn't say those exact words, but that's a recap of it. So there's that, and then also coming up with those anchors, those anchor statements that those affirmations. It's safe for me to, or it's safe for me to be, or it's yeah. So always start with it's safe and then the thing, And so things that you could be saying, I don't know, I'm repetitive. I'm just saying it again for those who are showing up now. It's safe for me to express my truth. It's safe for me to be myself. It's safe for me to take up space. It's safe for me to be on stage, whether that's, like I said, the literal stage or the figurative stage. Because we're also at this time now where, I don't know, I feel like more than ever, it's important that we recognize the true star quality that is within every single one of us. No one is immune to this beautiful star energy. We all have special gifts. And it would be really sad, if you were to, move on from this lifetime and not have explored those special gifts and shared them on a stage, whatever that stage looks like. Because, like, for instance, if I decided not to be a singer and I decided not to do this because my grade 3 teacher used to weigh me in front of the class, as horrible as it sounds, I'm so glad that there was some kind of steel within me to keep going, and to keep showing up. Because one of honestly, my most favorite place in the entire world is on a stage with my mates around me, having the time of our lives, but being able to share that with people around us. It's like, I remember the beautiful Shani Russell, incredible jazz singer, please look her up, and she's an incredible educator, said that, when you have a gift, whether it's, singing or poetry or writing, see it as though you're sharing food. You're sharing this beautiful dinner with people, because we know what that's like. You love I love sharing food. I love, I'm not particularly an amazing cook, but but I'm very good at Uber Eats. But I love sharing it with those around me. So it's the same thing. These gifts that we have, it's important that we share them. And it's important that we just take every opportunity to love ourselves more and more and more and more and more. And to give voice to that little kid that says, oh, such and such was mean to me. For years, I think I've suppressed it, was like, get over it. It was the 90s. Get over it, But no, there was a little Mel that was hurting, that, felt some kind of shame around it. It's definitely a shame, because even writing it tonight, I was like, ooh, I don't know if I've cleared this properly. And a shame of being, really 100% myself and visible and recognized. And so it was important that I gave voice to that, and then gone, shit, mate, you poor little darling, that's terrible. And we're going to clear that now. We're going to love you through this. And recognize, at the end of the day, that, gosh, we're all of us, we're so magnificent. And to really just stand in that and really feel that for ourselves. So anyway, that's my session for tonight. So affirmations, it's changing the narrative, and they're like little anchor statements. And the more that we repeat them over and over again, it's good to do it while you're tapping on a certain point as well. So karate chop point, I love tapping on my chest, this point, while you're saying it, because it's quite comforting. You're calming the nervous system, while you're saying it. Then it just becomes like, I don't know, it just becomes, yeah, I'm magnificent. It's safe for me to be magnificent. It's just becomes part of our language. And then when it becomes part of our language and it's ingrained in our psyche, in our being, that's what starts to get reflected back to us, because our words, but our intention and our beliefs and our emotions is what informs what we see around us and how we relate to the world. So you can see how it will heal your relationship with your voice if there are, you have some strong beliefs about your voice. It will heal relationships with self, relationships with other people. And it's really powerful. So if you're interested in learning more about affirmations, I think one of the best books, I think, that completely changed my life, and I know that there's people watching this that are going to say, I know what she's going to say, is Louise Hay, You Can Heal Your Life. I was very fortunate to get my hands on a copy because I have a darling auntie who was into all of this when she was young as well. And so I was 18 and had a few different issues going on, and this book changed my life. So if affirmation work is something you'd like to explore, please check that out. And then, of course, there's so many resources available on EFT, Emotional Freedom Technique. So those two things combined, oh my God, I can't tell you enough how powerful it is and how much it is going to change everything for you. And I think just also recognizing that this is a journey, healing is a journey, and just being gentle, slow and steady, and be gentle and loving towards yourself. All right, that's the session. Take care. Have a lovely weekend, and I'll be back tomorrow at 5 o'clock and then Sunday at 5 o'clock. And also, I would like to, I haven't put together the plan as such, but be prepared. If you're on my email list, be prepared for a spontaneous Sunday morning tapping session. Also too, by the way, if you're wanting some exercises, I've got a really great free resource called fearlesssingerkit.com. There's daily singing exercises. There's also a mini course on EFT. So some stuff that we've talked about here. There is an ebook on boundaries, like honestly scripts that you can literally just go copy and paste, whack that into an email to either a fellow musician, a student or a client, or a venue. So all of that is in the Fearless Singer Kit. It's completely free. So fearlesssingerkit.com, and get onto that. And also I've got a practice hacks journal if you're interested. That's on the fearlesssinger.com page. But yeah, check out all my free stuff. And then once you get that, you're on my newsletter list. So any spontaneous trainings or sessions, you'll get a notification saying, yep, Mel's going live. So yeah, be prepared for a Sunday morning tapping sesh. And I'll talk to you all soon. Lots of love.